Hello, everybody. Rob Cootie here, the MLM Solution. Murray and I will be going live here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we always do. Please share our podcast and our social media platforms with our fellow network marketers all across the world. All you have to do is use hashtag TheMLM Solution, hashtag TheMLM Solution, in order to share our platforms. We will be live here very shortly. Our subject for today is what is your genealogy report telling you? Very important subject. You do not want to miss this episode. We'll see you shortly.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you today?
I am doing well. How about yourself, Rob?
I could be doing better. Well, you know me and the election. I will not go there. But for those of you that are on the opposite side of me, I am not happy. Stealing an election is wrong no matter who you are, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. And it's horrible that our constitutional country has come to this kind of activity. But anyway, it's all in God's hands, all in Christ's hands. As we had talked about before, no one removes God from the throne. He's in charge. And if he's allowing this to happen, guess what? There's a reason for it, right, Miss Marie?
That is true. At this point, we've done what we can, and we've just got to let things play out and see what happens.
Yep. Well, I have a different viewpoint of so-called Americans, that's for sure. I don't know how anybody could vote for someone that blatantly tells you what they're going to do to this country and people endorse it. But evil controls this world. And there are people that will support evil, and evidently there's a lot of them in America. So with that being said, today, and Miss Marie, as you know, I am not going to hide my feelings. I don't care if it's a business or not. If it pisses people off, so what? Let them go someplace else. I am not going to change because of the almighty dollar. All right. That being said, if you're still sticking around, you still want to hear the podcast, this is podcast number 72. And let me say that my viewpoint doesn't reflect Miss Cannon's, all right, or Mrs. Cannon. She's got her own mind. She's got her own viewpoint, and I do not put her on the spot, and we do not talk politics. My comments are my own, and I will fully accept them, and that's the way it should be, right? You're going to be a responsible adult. You say what you're going to say. You stand by it, and you have a backbone to back it up. So, Miss Maria, I hope I did not put you on the spot. If I did, I apologize, but that is not what I was trying to do. All right.
Don't worry about it. All good.
Oh, okay. All right. So with that being said, once again, that comment does not endorse my comments that I made. She's just acknowledging my apology. All right. So with that being said, and once again, I'm not apologizing for bringing it up. I'm apologizing to Miss Marie. Let me just make that clear. All right. So today's an important subject. What is your genealogy report telling you? Over the last few days, we've been talking about how to read your back office, how to read your leaders, how to read different parts of your business. And you say, well, why are you doing this? Well, it's because of the fact that we've taught you the 5 simple steps, the 5 things to look for in a new company. We talked about the timing of joining a company. We've talked about the 90-day goal sheets, the scale of ambition, the quick start program. We have talked about all of the basics that go in to making duplication happen. And everything we do is all about duplication. Well, additionally, what we are now talking about are the hidden gems, the hidden business building tactics that all the professionals, if they're not using them, should be. Okay. And I'm not going to act like every professional knows the things that we talk about. Okay. like anything else in life, there's gray areas that act like grease that can help people succeed despite the fact of their lack of knowledge or their lack of talents and abilities. The beauty of the business model is it's all about activity. Yes, it's about consistent, correct business building activity. There's no doubt. Okay. What the consistent, correct business building activity does is shorten the time it takes for you to go from point A to point B, which could be a year. It condenses it down to maybe 5-6 months. Okay. Who wouldn't want that? It allows you, because it condenses that time frame, it allows you to take full advantage of that company, that new company that may only be around for 3 years. And you got to realize that it's going to take at least a year, maybe 18 months, up to 2 years for you to maximize the financial opportunity that new company is providing you. Okay. So that's the power and the beauty of the consistent, correct business building activity is it'll take that time frame that could take up to a year if you don't know what you're doing and condense it down to this. It'll also make it far more profitable, make your business far more efficient, effective, and stable. So it's got a lot of positives in what we teach you. And this is part of that process, okay? Because you got to realize all of the activity that you see in your back office is telling a story. Your job as a professional is to read what that story is, to interpret it correctly, because it's going to tell you where you need to focus. It's going to tell you what you need to do. Okay, just because you log into your back office doesn't mean you're the overlord and you go and tell your downline what to do. You're still in the business building mode yourself. It'll also tell you what you need to do. Okay, and yesterday's episode was focused more on your downline because we have to start somewhere. We've already focused enough on you, telling you that you've got to do the consistent, correct business building activity, which is the 5 simple steps. That you got to use the scale of ambition, the 90-day goal sheet, quick start program, first check, all of that. Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've covered all of that. You can find them in our other podcasts. So we've done a thorough job of covering all of that. And now we're doing the back office, which is really kind of the tail end of all this business building process, because from this point on, we really focus on you as an individual and your mindset, your commitment level, your determination, because that's all that's left. Okay, we've taught you pretty much outside of the advanced things. We have taught you pretty much everything you need to know to get started. And Miss Marie, I would say everything that we've taught people pretty much takes them from the beginning of their business building activity, day one, to the mid-level, meaning that they get to on the cusp of going full-time. Because once you go full-time, guys, it becomes a completely different game. Yes, it's the same business building activity, and we've talked about it in spurts. You become more of a figurehead. You don't become a manager. You're never a manager. Okay, you become a figurehead, and you're still a teacher. You're still a partner. When you reach the advanced level, you're never a manager. If you start managing your business, you're in trouble because you disappear, Miss Marie, and your management takes over. And that's not how you maintain your business. Okay, that's not how you maintain your income. You do that through becoming a figurehead, a legendary figure. You live off of your success. You promote that success. You're still out there being seen by your downline. You're still doing conference calls with your leaders, and that bleeds down into your downline. Okay, so it's a totally different game, and we're not going to get into that today. I touch on it so that you understand that everything we've taught so far has been from day one really up to the point where you step over that threshold saying, I'm going full-time, I'm going after big time. Would you agree?
I do agree. And one thing I want to highlight here too is it's all about taking action. We can teach you everything. You can have all the tools in your toolkit that you need to be successful, but until you actually take action and start moving, none of it is going to matter. And here's the thing, by taking action, you start creating momentum and you start creating some feedback for yourself in terms of how you're doing and how you can improve. And that's what we're getting into by talking about the back office. That's one of your feedback mechanisms, what you're seeing in the back office.
Mhm.
And your genealogy report is going to be part of that, which is what we're getting into today.
Right. Exactly. Well put. And well clear. And that's a great clarifying point. Additionally, guys, understand that she's right. It's all about activity. There is no doubt about it. Everything that we teach you does not work without activity. Okay. And you have to understand that it all boils down to your heart and what you want from this business and whether you're willing to go after it, because everything that we have taught you, in fact, works. We don't teach you anything that doesn't. So it all boils down to you. And as she stated, that's the one thing we can't control. You're the wild card. Nobody can say anything to motivate you. You have to have it in your heart, or something has to happen that puts it in your heart, whatever the case may be, and to go after this business model. So with that being said, Miss Marie, let's talk about the genealogy. Yesterday, we talked about looking at your leaders, logging into your back office and looking at your leaders, and the leaders' activity will tell you a story. The map, the volume map, the leaders' activity, all of that is going to tell you a big story. And we touched on many of the stories. There are some other stories, advanced stories, that we did not cover. As I had just stated moments ago, that it was not appropriate to cover that yesterday. We're talking about you being starting out part-time and working your way through the transitional phase into where you got 1 foot part-time, 1 foot in full-time, which is what we call the transitional phase, before you go in to where you jump in with both feet, you're full-time, and it becomes your job, your passion, your life. So when you log in from day one up to that moment where you cross the threshold from part-time to big time, is the threshold. The genealogy is going to be printed out. You'll log into your back office, and typically, especially if you're no matter what company you're with, you're going to see horizontal lines. Miss Marie, have you ever seen a genealogy laid out any way other than in an organizational chart?
No, I have not.
Okay. I think I saw one binary, but they had two different views. If you clicked on one, it showed you the binary, left, right leg, and the people down in there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was important, and I'm glad they did it. And I'll talk about that later in the episode. Additionally, what it would show, you click on another tab, and it would show the traditional, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, all the way down to where you got paid. Okay, guys. Once again, if you're with a company that does not put a restriction on how many people you can personally sponsor, which equals wealth. Width is wealth. Always remember that. It's a catchy little phrase. Width equals wealth. So if I'm with a company that has no limitations on the number of people I can sponsor, when I log in the back office, if I sponsor 100 people, I'm going to see a horizontal line that's going to go from 1 all the way to 100. Okay. And those are the people that I personally sponsor. Level 2 is going to be the people that my level 1 people sponsor. Level 3 is going to be the people that level 2 personally sponsored, and so on, so on, and so on. So, and we have training videos on this, but the thing is that when you look at your genealogy, and if you're with a binary, you're going to see a different layout. You want the horizontal layout. You want to be able to see that organizational chart laid out for you. You want to print it out if you can. Hopefully it'll fit on a piece of paper. If it doesn't, you're going to have to print out the multiple papers and lay it on a desk and do it across. And you say, well, why would I go through all that hassle when it's on the computer? I'm going to tell you why. When you log into your back office, and this is the ugly side of network marketing, we're going to do an episode in the future. We might want to write it down, Miss Marie. I think we might have, but we haven't done it yet. Look, there's an ugly side of network marketing. It happened to Zig Ziglar. And he had people stolen from him by his sponsor. And that's what turned Zig Ziglar off to network marketing. He had built a wonderful organization. He was one of the rising stars. This is his own story. He tells the story. I think it might be in the network marketing book for dummies. You might want to look that up. I could be wrong. I have a number of Zig Ziglar audio products as well as books, and I really can't remember which one it is. But the thing is, he did talk about that particular event in his life, and that really turned him off the network marketing, and he wanted more control. He never thought that somebody would be that unethical, and that a company, when it was brought up to their attention, would not take corrective action. And like he said, why would I want to make a company like that money? I don't blame him. And he was so turned off by that episode that he did not go to another networking company because he could not guarantee in his own mind that that would not happen again. I can tell you, thank God, that does not happen in every company. I can tell you without hesitation that most of the large companies have serious policies against that, okay, for their employees, okay, and distributors. So does it happen? I don't know. I've heard of that. I think I might have been around one or two instances, but the thing is, I didn't know both sides of the story. Okay, because here's what happens sometimes without dragging this on. Maria would talk to Sally. Let's say it's 11:14 a.m. Today, November 4th. Okay, and Sally says, "You know what, Marie, I really like you. I think I'm going to join you." And Sally fills out the distributor form. Okay, and Maria says, "Well, I'll call you this afternoon at 2:00. Okay, and so Miss Sally says, "Okay, that's fine. Why don't I give you," which they used to do, my credit card number. You can go ahead and process it at 2:00. In the meantime, Rob runs into Sally. He talks to Sally without knowing really that Marie has talked to her and that they have a commitment, because it never crosses my mind that Marie's been talking to her. It never crosses my mind that Sally had made a commitment to Marie. And so Sally and I get to talking, and Sally says, "Well, you know what, Rob, you got a lot of experience, and you really got something going on here." And Sally doesn't understand the industry. She doesn't understand that Marie's not in my organization or whatever. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to paint Sally as some inept individual that doesn't know the difference between right and wrong, but I'm trying to paint both sides of the fence here. So the thing is that she signs up with Rob, and Rob goes directly to his home, and where Marie's waiting until 2:00. She's got other things she needs to do. She has other appointments, and Rob goes over and signs up Sally. Well, at the same time, just seconds apart, Marie's logging in, trying to do the same thing. So unfortunately, sometimes the software is going to pick up one before the other, and it may pick up mine, and she'll end up in my organization. And Marie's like, "What's going on?" And she calls the company and says, "Hey, I need help." And the company tries to help her, and they say, "Oh, well, no reason won't work. She's with Rob." And Marie's just like, "What?" And in Marie's mind, I stole Sally from Marie. Okay. Which in some cases, that is not what happened. Okay. So I tell you that story so that you understand that sometimes these weird things happen. Okay. But there's other times where guys who don't have any ethics will flat out steal Sally from Marie. Okay. Just flat out steal, because they have contacts with the company. Okay. The company founders or their friends, longtime friends, childhood friends, whatever the case may be. And they'll say, "Hey, you know what? Sally's really top notch. You know what? I've brought a lot to the table. You guys got me to be one of the people to help you get this company off the ground. I've done that. I need a favor from you, and here's my favor." And they say, "You know what? He's got his over barrel. He's right. He helped us out when nobody else would. Yeah, we've got to put Sally there." And so Marie's all upset. She calls the company, and the customer service people don't have a clue what she's talking about. And once again, Miss Marie has a legitimate point, but unfortunately, because of the connections, she's not going to be able to overcome that. So this is not an episode about stealing downline. What this is part of the genealogy. You'll see why I'm telling you these stories. When you go to print, the importance of printing out your genealogy report is this. if Miss Marie goes and signs Sally up and Rob tries to pull a fast one on her, Rob says to the owner of the company, hey, we're childhood friends. I've been with you through thick and thin. I've helped you out many times. And Sally's a really top notch. She's bringing in 10,000 people with her. I have worked my tail end off for you in this company. I need your help. I need Sally in my organization, not Marie's. Because Marie, you say, well, Rob, why is that important? If Marie's in your downline, those 10,000 people won't be there anyway. You are correct. But I'm talking about Marie's in a different organization. Okay. And Marie is sponsored by the same guy or girl that I am. Okay. All right. So, but we're two different legs. Okay. So we're competitors in essence, right, Miss Marie?
Yeah, that's what's called being cross-line from one another.
Yes. Meaning that Miss Marie and I could be at the same events and she could bring a gun and shoot my ass when I get out of the car. We're stealing her people. Okay. So the thing is, I tell you the story. Here's why. If Marie signs Sally up, okay, and if Marie is smart, and she is going to print out that screenshot of Sally being in her business. Why? Because the screenshot is going to have a time date stamp. It is going to reflect the actual picture of the back office. So there's no disputing that that's the back office. It's not something that Miss Marie created on Photoshop or anything like that. Okay. And Miss Marie would be smart to use her device, phone, tablet, whatever, to take a picture of her screen on her computer. Okay. But the thing is, she needs to print that out. She needs to have a file. I always tell you guys, have a file for every person you sponsor. This goes in Sally's file. Okay. And Miss Maria would be smart to write down that's sign Sally up November 4th, 11:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She came in at the $900 level and got her started. And Miss Marie would lay all that out. Okay. Because that is, once again, documentation along with the screenshots that she, in fact, signed Sally up. And by that time date stamp, if there's a dispute, Miss Marie has legal grounds. She could sue the company. She could say, if you don't correct this, I'm suing you. Because she has documentation. Okay, and what they did is borderline illegal and is certainly unethical. And she would be smart to leave that company. Well, Rob, I want to stick around. This company is great, this and that. Leave the company. If they're going to treat you like that, what does that tell you about their character? If you get it legally overturned and the company has to put those people, what do you think their attitude is going to be towards you? And once again, Miss Marie and I talked about what was the name of that episode? Company's Not Your Friend or something like that. I forget.
Something like that.
Yeah. Guys, the company is a tool. Do not fall in love with the company. The company doesn't care about you. They care about you as long as you're bringing money in. The moment you stop bringing money in, they forget who you are. Okay? The moment you go off in the sunset to sit on the beach drinking out of the coconut, they forget who you are. Well, Rob, I'm bringing in $1 million in volume a month through my business. They don't give a crap. The only time they're going to remember who you are is when that $1 million stops going through their business. Rob's left. Where is he? Okay, then they'll remember who you are. All right. But outside of that, they're not going to know who you are. They don't care. Okay, especially the customer service people. You say, why is that? Because the only constant in this company, typically, Miss Marie, if I'm not correct, correct me if I'm not correct, are the owners. The owners typically stay around for the life of the company. It's their baby. It's their investment. The other top management will move on to other opportunities because companies are going to come, if they're smart, and hire them away. Why? Because of the vast experience they gained taking this company from zero to international status. Okay? So a lot of these people are not going to know who Rob is. They might say, yeah, it's that guy that has $1 million a month business. Okay? That's all they know. All right? So believe me, I do not give a hoot about the company. All I care about is it's going to be around. Okay, that's it. And I'm not being mean. I don't care. It's a tool for me. That's it. So I'm going to print out that genealogy every time that I sign somebody new up. And I mean, every time, if I sign 30 people up one day, I kid you not, I'm printing 30 of those things out. And if I can get a complete genealogy, if I can reduce my screen, which is not smart, guys, you can, on a Mac, you can hit Command and the minus sign, and it will reduce the screen. If I was trying to get my whole genealogy on that one screen, that's a big mistake, because once you print it out, you can't hardly read it. That's not legal. There's no legal ground to stand on taking that to court, because the judge would say, well, I can't read the damn thing. What is this? Okay. Don't do that. So the thing is, you want to have everything going in your favor in case something like this happens. Okay. So that's one of the most important things, Miss Marie. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, I think it's a good idea to print out your genealogy. And like you said, once you get a fairly large organization, it's hard to fit it on one page. So you want to segment it in a way that makes sense. So you can see the genealogy from you down through that most recent person you're signing up.
There it is. And guys, do not throw any of them away. Rob, you mean for 2 years I should keep, even if I print out one today? Yes. Here's why. Oh, sometimes there's a statute of limitations. We all know that. Typically, it's 5 to 7 years based on the event or the crime, whatever, and the circumstances. So you want to hold on to that, okay? Get a file cabinet. Yes, I know it's a lot of paperwork, and yes, you should do it. Can you put it on a thumb drive? I guess. Thumb drives go bad like anything else. I believe in paper, okay? I do it on, I have a passport right here. Drive, okay? I have a thumb drive. I have all that. I'm big on technology. I totally get that. But guess what? These things go bad too. I've had them go bad, okay? So you lose all that information. I print stuff out, Miss Marie. It's the reason why you see those file cabinets back there, and that's not the only file cabinets I have. I'm not a hoarder. After 10 years, I get rid of stuff. I go above and beyond, because if there's any issue with IRS, any legal issues, I have the paperwork, and it's hard to dispute the paperwork. Now, I'm not trying to belabor the point here. I'm driving this point home with you guys to show you the importance of it. So here's what I do. I print it out today. I print it out tomorrow. I print it out Friday, Saturday. Okay. Saturday. Yes, I worked on Saturdays. Okay. The only days I took off was Sundays. So the thing is, I would have a folder and I would lay them out, because like she stated, it would not print everything on one page, meaning that I had to lay them out in a horizontal way. And what I did, guys, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, 5, 6. Okay. I numbered them so that if I had to pull, and then I put them all together, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 6, and I stapled them together and put it in a file cabinet. Why? Because if I had to pull them out, I could take the staple out and lay it out in front of a lawyer that I hire and say, hey, this is what happened. Here's the day. Here's what happened right here. And here's the layout. Okay. And I've got them numbered 1 through 6. I'm organized. I paint the right picture. They say, yes, you have a case here. Okay. And why? Because I had paper. All right. Now, that's an extreme example, but I need to go that way in case something like that happens to you. It has happened. I hope and pray it's not happening, but it does happen. So that's one of the main reasons why you want to print out the genealogy. Well, what's the other reason? I have my genealogy printed out, and all of a sudden, everything's going fine. Nobody's stolen my people on the first line. All of a sudden, I log in, and a third of my business is gone. And I'm thinking, what in the hell happened? Who's missing? What's going on here? Because I don't put the names to memory, especially the people that are down line of the people I sponsor. I say, what in the hell happened? And so how do I find out what happened? Well, I'm not going to have a snapshot. Now, you can do a computer snapshot. I want to make that clear, because I said that a moment ago, and I do. I take a computer snapshot on my Mac. Command-Shift-4. That is a snapshot of the screen of a computer, of the Mac. There's other ways to do it. Why do I do that? Because I save that also, and it goes in the file, and I print it out, and I keep it on my hard drive, okay, or my passport. But I have the paperwork. That's my first and foremost, most important document. So the thing is, I'm like, what in the hell happened? Where did these people go? There's a big gap here. My volume dropped off by 10,000 PV and groovy. GV. I was tongue-tied there. How am I going to find it out? If I didn't take a snapshot of my of my screen, if I did not print that out, how am I going to know who's gone? It's not like Sally calls me up and says, Rob, I'm leaving, and see you later, click. You wake up sometimes and people are gone, right, Miss Marie?
That happens for sure.
Yes. Once again, what if somebody in this scenario took Sally and her 10,000 people after Marie signed them up, and overnight the company moved them from Marie's organization to another organization? And this was months later, thinking that Marie wouldn't notice.
How do you not notice 10,000 group?
It's an extreme example, yes. And the reason I did that extreme example is because how hard do you think it would be to miss 4 people? You probably wouldn't even know it. Okay? Creating 100 PV, you might think, well, my volume went down 100 PV. No big deal. That sucks, but somebody must have quit. Okay? Guys, I'm telling you, you need to have the paperwork, because if somebody's missing, if volume is going down, I'm going to find out why. It could have been that they just went to another company. Could have been that they just quit the business. That's okay. But what if there's some shenanigans going on? Okay. And what if there's a technical issue? Software has technical issues, does it not? What if you put them in, they're there for 2 days, and all of a sudden a big portion of your downline's gone? The company doesn't know it. It's a glitch. Believe me, I'm a software designer from years gone by. I understand that when software is under a load, and it's a daily thing, it's a second by second thing. It works fine for 23 hours and 59 minutes, and all of a sudden in the last minute, for whatever reason, you have a break. Okay. And you're just like, what in the world caused that? It's the reason why you always have a backup that you can bring online ASAP. So the thing is what if that happens to you? What are you going to do? Call the company? Hey, this is gone, blah, 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 blah. And maybe you even know who's missing. And you call the company logs in to your back office and say, yeah, I see that, but I can't vouch that those people were there. I can't just put those people back in there. This is above my pay grade. I got to get in. We're going to do research. It could be a month before and you're like, no, I was going to qualify for bonuses. I was going to be on a trip, all that hard work is gone. And if you don't have proof, you can't fax or email that screenshot and those documents to the correct people and say, hey, these people were in my downline. What in the hell happened to them? Why is my back office all of a sudden half of what it normally was? Okay. It could be a technical glitch. It does happen. Believe me, it happens. Sometimes Miss Marie could be so small and incremental that you don't even know that there's a drop off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Based on how the software is written, guys, it could, if the company says, hey, we want the software to pay Marie down to 7 levels and there's no limit on width, the software designer set that up. And sometimes it doesn't take correctly. And when there's a load put on the 7th level, it can have this little glitch where Marie's not getting paid on that. Those people are not in her organization. Okay. So you've got to print this stuff out, because the only record that you have, and it's your responsibility, it's not the company's. Don't be one of those wimpy people that says, oh, it's their fault. No, you're doing the work. It's your business. You're using their software. Yes, you can hold them liable, no doubt. But it's your job to maintain the integrity of that. And I don't mean software-wise, you doing the code. I mean by taking responsibility and maintaining correct records of your business. If you have a McDonald's and the McDonald's inspectors come in and say, hey, we need all of this paperwork here, and they're not going to let you sit in the corner and suck your thumb and point at corporate and say, it's their fault. It's too much paperwork to fill out. They're going to say, you know what? If you want to keep your franchise, you will correct this ASAP. If you don't, you will lose your franchise, because they will take it from you. Right, Miss Marie?
Well, this is an aspect of owning your own business and being responsible for your sales organization. You need to know who's in it, where they are, how they're doing, the type of volume they're bringing in. That's just part of the responsibility of the business ownership.
There you go. There it is right there. Okay, so let's say that you're where the company has a binary. Typically, you don't have 2 views. the traditional network marketing organizational layout, and the binary. If you have the binary, and I've never been with a force matrix, I've never been with a condensed or compressed, and none of that, and none of the new hybrids. Look, you have to print out no matter what you're with. But if you have a binary, and I'm sticking with that because I've been a part of that, I can confidently talk about it. And so I'm going to my back office. There's my horizontal layout, Genealogy. And then I click on the tab and it shows me my binary left and right legs. And the whole company is based on those left and right legs. If the company has 20,000 people, guess what? There's 20,000 people in the left and right. And it doesn't mean there's 10,000 on the left, 10,000 on the right. It could be that there's 13,654 on the right and the remaining balance is on the left, okay? Because even the company can't balance it. Why? Because the company's not building a leg or legs. The company is hiring you, the distributor, to build a business, and they hope that you balance it out. The company's going to make money no matter what. And you say, well, how can they do that? The bad thing about a binary, and I'm not getting into comp plans, another reason why you want to print it out is that your right leg could have 1,500 PV and your left leg have 800. And you're not getting paid until the left side meets the right side. In other words, they're both equal to 1,500. Okay, every binary is a little bit different, right, Ms. Marie?
That is accurate.
And so you're not going to get paid, so you're going to do what? You're going to work your tail end off, and you're going to put as many people as you can on the left side and hope and pray that they take action right away. In other words, they're part of your first third, so that they leg will get balanced before the end of the month. You say, why? Because guess what? In some, not all, in some binaries, they wash out. Both legs start over at zero. So if you don't have 1,500 on both sides, guess what? The company is making money off of you and not paying you a red cent because your legs are not balanced. Company's making money hand over foot. They're laughing all the way to the bank. One of the reasons they use binaries, okay? And Miss Marie, if there's any such thing as close to being, and I hesitate to say this, but it's true, if there's anything close to being a pyramid in network marketing, it's a binary pay plan. Why? Because the people at the top have nothing to worry about. You say, why? Think about it. If you got 20,000 people, even if it's an unbalanced line, if they got 13,682 on the right side and on the left side is the remaining balance, and Miss Marie is the first person to come into this and Rob is the second, guess what? We have volume, huge volume on both sides. We're going to get paychecks. Okay, we're going to skyrocket right past 1,500 on both sides, right? Because there's 13,682 on one side and remaining balance on the other side. It's going to stop when it gets to the remaining balance, which should be 6,328, I think. Okay, so it's going to get, her and I are going to get paid to the 6,382 level. Okay, and bonuses. We're not going to tell you that, because you guys will be screaming. Okay, so who's making most of the money? The company and the people at the top. Okay, and what they do is they sell you a story that you can balance the lines. You can. It's very difficult. Okay, right, Miss Marie?
Well, it's definitely a balancing act for sure. And to try to get it balanced exactly is next to impossible, but you want to get it as close to balanced as you can.
There you go. And how do you do that? Massive activity, a little golden nugget, probably a platinum nugget. How do you combat that in a binary? How do you build a binary if you're not one of the first 2-3 people in? You got to do massive action, and you're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, without regard to the saying to yourself, this is going to be a superstar. You just got to go left, right, left, right, left, right. Why? Because you got to have the numbers in network marketing working with you. Okay, so enough of that. All right, so the thing is, if you got the binary pay plan, you got to print it out. Rob, if it's 3,642 pages long, do I print all this out? Hell no. No. Okay, you should be able to download it. Okay, any company that's worth its salt will give you the ability to quote unquote download in a .csv, which means a spreadsheet format. Okay, and the power of that is this: if it allows you to download it in a .csv, you put that on your passport drive, your flash drive, and guess what? You already have your genealogy, the horizontal one, printed out, right? You have a folder for it, right? Okay. If you only have sponsored 20 people, when you download the spreadsheet off of the binary side of your genealogy or your back office, you will only want to find your 20 people and print that page off. Okay. Because you can't worry about the rest of it, because the rest of it is not your people. Okay. Now you say, okay, well, what about the volume? At this point, you're not worried about that. Okay, that is for the business building activity, not reading not reading your genealogy report and understanding what it's telling you. We're not worried about that in this scenario. Okay, looking at the volume on each side is a business building activity, not reading the genealogy report to see what it's telling you. It's not about balance, as she said. Okay. What you're doing here is you're making sure the people that are in your business are in the right spot. You say, well, why is it important on the binary? We found that they're on the horizontal chart. Well, here's the thing. Yes, they are in your horizontal chart, but are they in the right spot in the binary? The company, you got to realize the horizontal is going to print out different than the binary. And you may have told the company, hey, I want them on the right side. And I'm telling you, you'll find them on the left side sometimes. And I have seen companies say, well, you know what, Rob, he might have made a mistake. I think he wanted that on the left side. They'll act all innocent. Why does the company do that? Well, why do you think? Because they're trying to balance the line too. Okay. And if one of their big shots says, hey, you know what, I need help on this left side over here. Yeah, I'm making a ton of money, but this left side is really dragging. We got to balance this thing out. They have these secret discussions. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. Okay. They're business people. Whether they're ethical or not is another matter. But you got to realize that sometimes they're going to make these things. I have seen this happen. I've seen people have to make that correction. Hey, that is not where I put them. I clearly said spot number 2 on the right side, blah, blah, blah. Here's my ID number. Okay, those spots are identified by numbers, right, Miss Marie?
Yep. Everybody's assigned a number.
Yes. But I mean, some of the binaries will have either one business center, as they call it, 2 business centers, or they'll have a triangle of 3 business centers, and you can have 3 business centers on the left and on the right. Okay. So if that person's put in the wrong spot, guys, that is not good. Okay. You're the one that's in charge. You're the one that you're building your business the way you want to build it. You don't need the company interfering with your business building activity. Now, is this something that's commonplace? No. I can tell you that. But the thing is, it does happen. Once again, we make you aware of these things so that you can monitor it to see if, in fact, it's happening. Again, if this is happening in your company, I think in a situation like this, Mary, I may allow it one time, and I'll tell them and say, you know what? I'm going to believe that you're being honest and that this was a mistake. Don't let it happen again. Not only will I leave the company, but I'll sue your ass. Okay? And I'm not the type of person to sue, but I ain't playing no games. This is serious stuff. I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to make money here. I'm about it, honesty and integrity. And if I feel like a company's taking advantage of me, my ass is gone. But they're going to know about it. So we tell you the worst case scenario so you can be aware of it. You know, we don't want this to happen. Okay. So you're going to print out your binary side, and you're going to look at your genealogy, the horizontal chart, and you're going to make sure that the 20 people that you just sponsored are in fact in the spots that you told the company, or you yourself through the online process put them. Okay. Why? Because it's important in a binary, because of the balancing act, that it's accurate. If it's not, you're working your tail end off for nothing, right, Miss Marie?
Well, and that's true. You don't want all of your hard work to go to waste. You're investing a lot of time, energy, and effort to build this business. You're crafting it in a particular way. So to have somebody go in either intentionally or even unintentionally and kind of mess up what you've put in place can be very frustrating. So again, as the owner of the business, you want to be aware of it. You want to make sure everything is placed exactly the way you want it. And that's why you need to monitor it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I really don't necessarily like having these kind of discussions. I wish it was more positive, but look, there's negative about everything in life. And Miss Marie, the beauty of what Miss Marie and I do through this podcast, we talk about all things, even the ugly, as we talk about. We did not set out to have this kind of discussion for this episode, but we got to bring it up so that you guys are aware of what could happen and so that you can take corrective action. Okay. So you want every time, and let's say everything's fine. Let's say there's no shenanigans. You got a good company that's led by good people and everything's moving along just fine and you're happy. That's awesome. You still want to print it out. Do not leave things to memory. Do not leave things to chance. Print it out. When you print out, like today is November 4th, as I said, excuse me, if I logged into my back office, I'm going to print out in the beginning, in other words, 8 a.m. in the morning. And if I quit at 8 a.m. at night, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to print one in the morning. I'm going to check it during the day. And if it's the same, I'm not going to print it out. Okay. And I don't put what I printed out at 8 o'clock in the morning away. Okay. I'm going to make sure that it's reflecting what I'm seeing. And then in the evening at 8 o'clock, I'm going to print another one. And then I'm going to put all of those documents together in a folder that's labeled November 4th, 2020. Okay. Back office info, because all of my back office information is going to go in that folder. Okay. Why is that? Because I want to make sure at 8 o'clock at night that before I go to bed that I know that where the status of my back office is, where my business is. So that if there's any shenanigans overnight and I wake up 8 o'clock the next morning, that's the reason why I do it twice a day. Well, I actually check it 3 times a day, but twice a day, especially if I'm with a company that has a binary. And I'm going to tell you something, a stair step or a breakaway, that's even more difficult. That's a lot of people to keep up with, Miss Marie. But anyway, the thing is that I'm going to make sure, because it's my responsibility to make sure that I am on top of my business and that everything is where it needs to be. And if anything goes amiss, I got to jump on it right away. Just like I get a splinter, our handrail to our stairs, every once in a while, I'll put a splinter in my finger and I get it out right away because I don't want it to get infected. I don't want it to fester, et cetera, et cetera. And I've had gangrene before, and that is not fun. I thank God the good Lord allowed me to keep my fingers. Anyway, the point is that in order to keep gangrene or something bad happening, you got to address something right away. Okay. So that's the reason why I check it 3 times a day to make sure that is reflecting the current status of what I am doing. And being as aggressive as I am in the business building process, there's a lot of changes sometimes. Sometimes I'll go maybe a day or two and there's no new additions. And then I'll go 2 or 3 days and have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 additions. Okay. And it's imperative that I stay on top of it. Rob, do you print them out when you have no activity going on for 2 or 3 days? Yes, absolutely. Why? Because I got to have that chronological calendar, document calendar going. In other words, if it becomes a legal matter and they say, well, can you show me November 4th through November 8th? Well, I didn't print out November 5th and 6th. Why? Because I didn't have any activity. That weakens my case. You got to print it out and say yes. And what that shows is not the documentation showing 0 activity. It's the fact that you showed the integrity, you showed your professionalism, you showed that you're on top of things, that you're smart, that you take this serious, that you have all the proper documentations. In other words, all the feathers are starting to build up in your cap and making your case very strong. Okay. I always printed it out. Why? Because the date timestamp was imperative and the visual backed up the date timestamp. Because I say, yeah, you know what? On November 4th, I had 4 new people. On November 5th, I didn't have any new people. On November 6th, I didn't have any new people. On November 7th, at 1 p.m., I signed up 3 people. Okay. And that documentation will reflect that. Okay. So that's the reason why you got to have all that. So, okay. So now that we have the legal aspect out of the way, and we're going to bring this to a close real quick. Rob, what else is the genealogy report telling you guys? It's giving you a running score on your business. We talked yesterday about the details. You can put these two, really, I'd say the last week, Miss Marie, about the back office, I guess. Guys, here's the thing. It's going to give you a mental picture of where you are and where your business is going. Okay. Listen to the other episodes, tie them all together and what we're talking about here today, because I don't want to rehash what we talked about. But you want to see incremental growth in your genealogy. In other words, when I log in, if I only had 20 people signed up 8 days ago, I'm going to log in and see that I now have 5 new additions, which should be on my front line number 1. And then I'm going to go over to my binary and I'm going to look and see where they are immediately. Did they go in the 5 spots I wanted them in? Okay, good. They are. Print that stuff out. And then I look at my volume, where the volume's being created, who's doing what. Are they doing 100 PV? What kind of creative volume are they creating? Do they have any pin rank advancement? Your genealogy report is going to show you all that. Okay. And that's what you want. And you're going to look at the consistency. And you say, what do you mean? Well, if I pull out the last 10 days of genealogy reports, which is a pain in the butt, I get that. But here's the thing. If I pull them out and I look at the volume growth, now some of the new software has it where you can click on a tab and see it. But the thing is, I want to be able to see the growth and see where the weak points are, see where my strong points are. They're going to help me to do what? Tighten up my weak points if possible. Okay, because you accept people for where they are. Don't try to turn a 5 into a 10. The thing is it's going to give me a snapshot of where I need to work or where I need to focus. Okay. In other words, you need to work with your leaders. They are the people that are rocking it right now. You cannot forget them. You always got to let them know you're there, supportive. You're their cheerleader. You're cheering them on. And then you look at your weak points. Okay, the people that are on the verge of going full time, on the verge of becoming big time, people that are struggling, those are the other areas. Your genealogy report will help you get that clear picture. Okay, and you want to be able to read that. All right. So with that being said, it'll also show people that went from 50 PV a month and all of a sudden they're doing 100 PV per month. And we talked about yesterday, one of the clearest signs of somebody being a leader is when you tell them the importance of doing 100 PV, the threshold of profitability. And if they start out at 50 and all of a sudden a week or two later, they're doing 100, what does that tell you about that person? Well, you're not going to know that if you don't look at the genealogy. And you say, well, Rob, you're going to print out the genealogy today. Yeah, but how did I know that they were only at 50 a week or so ago? Okay, because if I see them at 50 and they go to 100, what does that tell me? Rob, you need to get with that person. They're stepping up. You need to be there for them. If I don't know that and I just see 100 PV, I say, oh, okay. You know, they're a customer or, you know, I don't know what in the hell they're doing. So that's the reason why, guys, you got to go back. You got to look, and I'll look at it at the end of the month and I'll look and make sure I didn't miss something. Does that make sense, Miss Marie?
It does, absolutely. And it's the importance of monitoring the back office as a whole and how the genealogy plays a role in that monitoring.
Right. Absolutely. And really, this took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it really wasn't a deep subject. We had to talk about the legal aspects of it and the potential problem areas, because unfortunately, sometimes that happens. And Miss Marie, if we didn't tell them, they wouldn't have a clue what to do.
Well, and this is the value that we bring, right? We want to cover everything, even though it may not be the most positive. We still want to make you aware because, again, this is about building your business, building towards your success, achieving your dreams and your goals. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, we are going to bring it unlike anyone else. So, as always, please give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear, you understand the points that we're making. We always appreciate that. And of course, across all of our social media platforms, please like, comment, and share. Drop us a comment. Let us know if stuff is resonating with you, if you're picking up the points, or even if you have a question. This is how some of our episode topics actually come about. And you can find us across all the social media platforms by searching hashtag TheMLM Solution. That's hashtag TheMLM Solution. And you'll also want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to register for notifications so when we have new material up there, you will know it and have that available to you. And then, of course, finally, the gold mine of them all. Visit our website, TheMLMsolution.net. Tremendous amount of information we've stocked up there for you. Much of it free to download. Strongly recommend you go check out that website, TheMLMsolution.net. And be sure to be sharing that with people within your organization, because again, it's all about duplication, as well as sharing with our network marketing people across the globe so more people can take advantage of this, build their business the right way. And tomorrow we're back 11 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be doing podcast number 73. Our topic tomorrow is going to be the 90-day evaluation. You don't want to miss that. We talk often about that 90-day mini blast and how important that is. Well, what happens at the end of 90 days? The 90-day evaluation. So join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Right. Well, and you know what? I look forward to that. That's going to be a good one, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a topic they will not, they won't learn anyplace else. That's for sure. It's something that is imperative to your success, guys. I'll just say that. All right, we're getting ready to close this out. Just bear with me a moment as I do this.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, TheMLM-solution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.